Hey guys, Kevin Schutz here, owner of Koda CrossFit Iron View. I've owned gyms for over 12 years and I've helped thousands of people with their fitness, but also with their nutrition. Here is my take on the perfect nutrition plan for everyone. So first off, my background, I played college baseball and I was in good shape in college, but after I graduated, I got a desk job, I drank quite a few beers and ate way too much fast food, and I just kind of stopped working out, stopped being active. And I just woke up one day, I was 242 pounds and felt out of shape and just not like an athlete anymore. And I really wanted to make a change. I started eating a little bit healthier and doing some research and working out a little bit and started losing a little bit of weight. And then I found CrossFit. I loved it right away. I loved everything about it. And I started really diving into nutrition, researching for myself, but also as I started coaching, helping other people on achieving their goals, whether it's fat loss or gaining muscle or performance for CrossFit. I found myself a few years later really refining my ideas and diving headfirst really far into nutrition. When we talk about nutrition, it's kind of like a religion for a lot of people. You know, you hear meat is bad, vegetables are the only way to go, you have to be vegan. And then you hear the other end of the spectrum, vegetables have anti-nutrients, vegetables are bad, we should eat carnivore. And then there's this other group that's saying, all that matters is how many calories you eat, or you have to focus on your macronutrients and nothing else really matters. When we look at all these approaches, people, they focus on all the differences between those and what we can argue about which one's the best or which one's the worst. Let's look at some of the similarities between plant-based, paleo, carnivore, if it fits your macros, Whole30, or really any diet nutrition plan. So all these nutrition plans, they encourage whole unprocessed foods, high nutrient density foods, exercise, quality sleep, and hydration. All of these plans discourage alcohol, added sugar, crappy vegetable oils, artificial ingredients, processed foods. If we look at paleo, Whole30, plant-based, and carnivore, all of these different nutrition approaches focus on the quality of the food that we're getting in. They don't really address quantity. They just, focusing on let's make sure we eat healthy and it'll kind of take care of itself. On the other end of the spectrum, if we're not really worried about quality and we focus on quantity, you could say like total calories is something to focus on. But if we look at specifically if it fits your macros, that is focusing only on the quantity of protein, fat, carbs, and how much we're getting every single day. If we focus on the quantity, then we're going to get probably close to the quality of food that we should be having. And so what I mean by that is, if I'm hitting a specific amount of protein per day, I'm probably gonna get some good sources in. Like I'm not gonna be able to eat donuts and get enough protein in. Same thing with carbs and fat. It's gonna be very difficult for me to go eat out at restaurants and fast food and not go over my fat intake for the day for what my prescribed macros are. And then when we focus on quality, even though we're not worried about how many calories we hit, we typically get close to the amount of quantity that we should be eating. So maybe let's say that we get like 80% of the way there if we focus on quality, and we get 80% of the way there if we focus on quantity. So which one of these is correct? So the best nutrition plan that I think everyone should follow is the one that you'll stick to. I know that that's kind of a vague answer, but we can get 80% of the way there, maybe 85% of the way there by just following one of those nutrition plans. If we're, not going to be sustainable with it long term, then who cares? It doesn't matter if we hit our exact macros or like follow our Whole30 rules for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We want to be able to do this sustainable for the long term. Consistency is way more important than intensity. So the nutrition plan that I recommend for everybody is maybe a combination of those, but it's the one that you're gonna follow. For 2025 Koda resolutions, we have 2 options for the nutrition portion. Option number 1 is the Koda resolutions nutrition plan. That's gonna be basically paleo with some specific non-paleo carbohydrate sources allowed, and the amounts of those is gonna differ whether your goal is fat loss, muscle gain, performance, any of that stuff. That'll be option number 1. Option number 2 is whatever nutrition plan you'd like to follow, but sticking to it over the 6 weeks. So that could be plant-based, that could be carnivore, that could be Whole30, that could be another nutrition plan that you want to follow, but sticking to it over the course of the 6 weeks. The reason that we recommend option number 1, the paleo plus some specific carbs, is because most people are going to handle those foods allowed on the specific resolutions plan the best. And that's just going to be most people. There's a lot of intricacies in there. Some people are going to handle certain foods better than others, but this is the one that most people handle these foods correctly and don't get a crazy, inflammatory response from. In addition to that, a lot of people can stick to that plan a little bit better. It allows for a wider range of foods and some foods that taste good and stuff like that, while still getting a lot of low inflammatory foods and hitting our protein, fat, and carbohydrate sources. That being said, some people are going to want to follow a different nutrition plan, and we're still going to give great recommendations and apply all of our knowledge-based videos towards either approach. But for some specific examples, plant-based can be done really well and can be done correctly. It's difficult to do though. It's difficult to get enough protein in if we're plant-based, but it can be done correctly. Carnivore, on the other end of the spectrum, is very easy to get enough protein in, but it's a very limited types of food sources. So, we are gonna give recommendations for all of the above, no matter what nutrition plan you follow, but the one you should follow is the one that you're gonna stick to. We're gonna try to progress you over the course of the challenge to get closer to that 85, 90% correct on your nutrition plan and really try to dial things in. But the goal is for you to learn some stuff along the way and be able to progress that after the 6 weeks on whatever approach that you want to take. So our Resolution 6-week nutrition and lifestyle challenge starts January 6th. It's going to include a lot this year. It's going to have daily knowledge videos that'll be applicable to any approach for nutrition. There's going to be a ton of community support and motivation, whether you're here at Koda or whether you're remote. We're going to do a ton of community type stuff. And then it's going to have a lot of bonuses this year. Free in-body scan for anybody that wants it at the beginning and the end of the challenge. You don't have to do this, but it's a good way to have some objective data to measure against throughout the challenge, but totally optional if we don't want to, weigh ourselves and worry about that aspect. There's going to be free custom macronutrients prescribed for every person that wants it, from Coach Erica Giovinazzo, our registered dietitian. She's an awesome nutrition coach. She's going to be helping out a little bit with this challenge, but she has her own nutrition company and is awesome. That's also going to be optional. You don't have to follow those macronutrients, but she's going to give custom macros for everybody that wants to be able to dive into their specific goals and know exactly how much protein, fat, and carbs to have. It's also going to include a free Koda t-shirt. Our goal at Koda is to affect as many lives as possible in a deep and meaningful way through fitness, but also through nutrition. We want it to be really accessible and inclusive for anybody that wants to participate. It's gonna be $99 for the first person. And then if your spouse or significant other or family member wants to sign up, they're gonna get 50% off any additional family member that signs up. We want it to be where anyone participating is supported at their house in all their meals throughout the challenge. We definitely see way more success if someone's husband, wife, partner, son, father, brother, sister, anybody that's living with them also follows along with the challenge. They're all gonna see way better success. We'd love to have you join the Nutrition Challenge. Let us know any questions. Let's get after it.